Hey everybody, it's the Rare Old Timer. I think this is mini concert number 235, but I've lost track. First up tonight is a song by a Scottish folk singer by the name of Donna. It's a love song. Yellow is the color of my true love's hair. In the morning when we rise, in the morning when we rise, that's the time, yes, that's the time I love the best. Green is the color of the sparkling corn. In the morning when we rise, in the morning when we rise, that's the time, yes, that's the time I love the best. Blue is the color of the sky. In the morning when we rise, in the morning when we rise, that's the time, yes, that's the time I love the best. Mellow is the feeling that I get when I see her. When I see her, oh yeah, that's the time, yes, that's the time I love the best. Freedom is a word I rarely use without thinking, without thinking, oh yes, about the time when I was loved. Yellow is the color of my true love's hair. In the morning when we rise, in the morning when we rise, that's the time, yes, that's the time I love the best. So that song is called Colors. Maybe a little bit of nostalgia about his freedom before he met the girl there at the end. Not sure about that. You could read it that way. Yeah, this is a breakup song by a group by the name of Ian and Sylvia. They're French-Canadian folk singers. For strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. If our good times are all gone, then I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. I think I'll go out to Alberta. The weather's good there in the fall. I've got some friends that I can go working for. Still, I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But these things are dead 100 times or more. For strong winds grow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. If our good times are all gone, then I'm bound for moving I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. Well, if I get there before the snow flies, if things are going good, you could meet me if I sent you down the fair. But by then it would be winter, not too much for you to do, and those winds sure can blow cold up there. Or strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. If our good times are all gone, then I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way. That's called 4 Strong Winds. So next up is Bob Dylan's song. It's been called his anthem for change. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. The times they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win. The times they are a-changin'. Come senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon break your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changin'. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly fading. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly changing, and the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are changing. That's Bob Dylan's The Times They're A-Changin'. Next up is pieces of 3 songs by Buddy Holly and the Crickets, Danny and the Juniors, and Elvis Presley. All of my love and all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you were meant for me. All of my life I've been awake, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you were meant for me. While the stars appear and the shadow is falling, you can hear my heart a-calling. A little bit of love will make everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love and all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you were meant for me. Rock and roll is here to stay, it will never die. It was meant to be that way, though I don't know why. I don't care what people say, rock and roll is here to stay. Rock and roll is really cool, I dig it to the end. It'll go down in history, just you watch my friend. Rock and roll will always be, it'll go down in history. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class, well that was just a lie. Yes, they said you was high class, but that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. All of my love and all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you were meant for me. So it's what I call the Oh Boy Medley. Next up is a John Prine song. I think this one is vignettes from growing up. I don't know whether it's his life or somebody else's life. If you like your apples sweet and your streets are not concrete, you'll be in your bed by 9 every night. Take your hand-spanked, corn-fed gal and your best friend's 4-eyed pal to a treat right down the street that's dynamite. Well, let your conscience be your guide if you put your foot inside. You'd wish you left your well enough alone. So if you got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway. Blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone. Crazy bone. You wish you left your well enough alone. If you got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway. Blame it on that old crazy bone. Well, don't be stuck up in Alaska when you should be in Nebraska on a Thursday when it's egg and daughter night. When the farmers come to town and they spread them eggs around, drop their daughters down at the roller rink. Well, you were probably standing there with your slick back real cream hair. Your lucky's and your daddy's fine-tooth comb. Well, if they knew what you was thinking, they'd have run you out of Lincoln, blaming on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone. Crazy bone. You must have wished that you must have left your wisdom tooth at home. Well, if they knew what you was thinking, they'd have run you out of Lincoln, blaming on that old crazy bone. But when the grandkids all are grown, and they put you in a home, and eternity is approaching fast, well, you're half out of your head, and you probably pissed the bed, and you can't see a thing to save your ass. When far across the prairie, at the local cemetery, they've already got your name carved out in stone. So when all them nurses say, "Grandpa, why do you walk that way?" blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone. Crazy bone. Everybody in that old folks' home, well, if they knew what you was thinking, they'd have run you out of Lincoln, blame it on that old crazy bone. That's called Crazy Bone by John Prine. And that's the mini concert for tonight. Hope to see you next week.